It was up as Rashad Antonio. The upon further review, we saw a movie, and that movie was The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. All spoilers. Got to talk about a thing to talk about a thing. And I saw this Saturday. When did you see this?
Saturday morning.
Cool. So like
Went to the
Saturday.
first. I went to the first showing they had.
Cool. Got your little matinee discount. Good for you.
Of
I
course.
I saw the Saturday afternoon, and I have a very overarching just idea about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like really like three things. Like one, this is my first takeaway. This movie is a quintessential hero's journey. That's like the first thing I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, um, the villain of the story is idealism.
Okay.
And then third, this movie did a lot of exposition and also positing for sequels.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like if I like my non-spoiler takeaway, like that's kind of how I felt about it.
Okay.
How about you, Tony?
Um, I felt like what you said about setting up stuff for the sequels. This is going to be from what I read, this is going to be a new trilogy for the Apes movie or whatever. One thing I did take away from it was I felt because I remember I have seen the OG from the 60s Planet of the Apes. Wow. It's a lot of stuff in it that pays homage to the OG series. You know what I'm saying? A lot of visual things and some stuff that happened. Um I do understand the hero's journey, as you said. Also to it's like I didn't want to, compare this movie to the trilogy that we've recently got, that involves Caesar. I didn't want to do that because I know this is a new story and everything. However, I will say that out of the previous trilogy and this one, this is probably my least favorite, but that's not saying I didn't like it, if that makes sense to you.
Total sense.
Okay.
No. That makes total sense because I
Mm-hmm.
kind of I kind of felt the same way. It's like this is hmm, I don't even have a good take. It just felt like to me the first hour outside of a couple of action set pieces, it just was a lot of exposition,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a lot of all right, we got to do a lot of table setting here,
Mm-hmm.
and some of that doesn't pay off
Right.
because it's all in service of whatever's coming next, which I understand.
Uh-huh.
But
There were a few things I also had problems with too in the movie. I'll talk about as well as we go along in this breakdown of the film or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it was just like I said, I thought the movie was okay. It was cool.
yeah, it
It
was
was
it was
cool.
it
It
was a
wasn't
decent
it
movie.
wasn't bad. It won't like I was like, oh god, this is
Nah,
terrible or anything like that. It wasn't bad. It was cool, but in the grand scheme of what I'm saying, the eight eight verse, I guess as we're gonna call it, eight verse. I think this is my least favorite out of since the three. But then I started thinking, I said, could it be because I didn't have or feel a relationship with the characters like I'm saying I might have had with the OG? But no, like you said, I think it started kind of slow and it stayed slow. It was like they were trying to explain how we got to this point without actually explaining how they got to this point.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of that's very okay because we start off like generations. You know what I'm saying
Oh,
at the Caesar.
and shout out to giving Caesar a funeral too in the beginning.
Yeah, he had
In the
funeral
beginning.
pyre, the whole
Uh-huh.
thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I do appreciate that. And it's like 300 years later,
Yeah.
essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So you have these more like advanced society of primates
Mm-hmm.
who are the apex creatures on the
Mm-hmm.
planet now. But the what okay, let's be a little bit positive. What I did love about this movie
Mm-hmm.
is just how it looks. Like
Shot. Yeah. Yeah.
Tony,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not really sure who's the VFX company behind this. I'll look it up, but
Uh. Yeah.
they are murdering it, man. Like from where we came from with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes
Mm-hmm.
to this, that came out in 2014, I believe.
Oh man, it's been that. Wow.
Like it's only been that's like 8 years, and like
Yeah.
the just the actual animation of it all,
Mm-hmm.
and just the mocap and all that it's taken on a whole new life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it just was really good. Like I can't even lie. Like I was very, very surprised and seeing how the same company who did the last ones did
Mm-hmm.
this one as well. And they just been like, doing an incredible job of that. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, yeah, definitely one of the major positives.
Yeah. I all okay. One thing I did like is that the apes have now spread out, and they have started their own clans now, or whatever, separate clans or whatever. And they're and doing their thing. So, saying after we see, saying the opening, montage of Caesar having his funeral pyre and Maurice, saying the orangutan from the OG series there as well, setting the pyre, and then you see a little cameo, a little Cornelius Caesar's, saying heir to the throne or whatnot, and you see what has in this new world has become the religious symbol of Caesar, which is, and you
Yeah.
know what that is, don't you? That is the
Yeah.
window. That is
The
the
window from his
window
house.
from
Yeah.
the house that he grew up in. So he grew up in with can't think of his name right now. It's Franco. The actor Franco's was his adoptive father on that. So you see that, and then we say like generations later, we find out 300 years, and the landscaping too, how they have like how like the trees and the forestry has grown over the city, which looks like LA, if I'm not mistaken.
Definitely
Like
LA. You know what I'm
definitely
saying?
LA or whatever. And you see these three apes just going, just climbing and everything like that. At first, I was like, yo, these dudes ain't it they haven't advanced enough where they can stop using sign language, they can just talk, but they still do both. You can tell that the language speaking English has gotten better for them. It's not as broken as it was in the original, saying in the Caesar trilogy, but the saying they're speaking a little bit better, and they're out doing, because they are part of the ape tribe where they're eagle clan, and
Yeah.
they're like really into falconry. And the thing is, it's like a rite of passage where apes go to and look for a nest of eagle eggs.
Hey, real quick, the
Mm-hmm.
name of the company who does the VFX is Weta Effects
Mm-hmm.
or Weta. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it has two hyphens over the vowels.
Okay, yeah.
And guess who owns that? Peter
Cool.
Jackson. So yeah, they're out in New Zealand. But yeah,
Makes sense.
all right.
So yeah, so they're climbing. Everything is three apes. Is the main protagonist, which is Noah, is I guess you would say his love interest friend. What was her? Una or
Yeah,
whatever. Una. And then his best friend. Their best.
Sooner,
So yeah, right. She was Suna, and then the best friend, a what was that damn name?
Anaya.
Anaya, which threw me off because I've known Anayas and they've been
I've known
mainly
several Anayas,
Anayas and they've been mainly females, but hey,
black
Anayas,
black females.
black females on top of that. So they're looking and they're trying and they see a nest, an eagle's nest, and they climb up to get to it, and there's three eggs, and they're like, "Oh, it's three. Let's take them." And Noah's like, "No, we always leave one. We always leave one." Which is that's the rules, which is smart of their tribe because if they take all the eagle eggs, then there's no eagle eggs for later on generations and stuff. So
Uh-huh.
he tells them to take it. He was like, "Hey, if I can't get one, I'll wait till next year." You said next year or whatever. And they're like, "Oh man," they look and they see another nest that's even further up. And he like basically, but it's dangerous. You can't really get to it. My man found a way to get to that eagle's nest, but he got attacked by that eagle too at the same time. But having feet that are basically hands, he was able to grab a hold of the eagle egg, and all three of them got an eagle egg. So going back, they go back to the village they have, and it was that scene was kind of adorable to me because you got little kids. Oh, did you get it? Oh my god! So it's just like during that time period, and then you see, what I'm saying, they're being greeted, and then he goes. Noah sees his mother, and you could tell that he's very affectionate. He has an affection for his mother. Like you could tell that he's more has a better relationship with his mother than he does his, saying his father or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yo, go tell your father, he's gonna," and he's like, "I don't want to go tell this man," what I'm saying? He's just that. She was like, "Yo, he'll be proud of you." And so his father, I forget the father's name. He's like the Lord of Birds. He's the one that watches all the eagles and
Coro.
Coro. He checks all the eagles and makes sure everything is cool with them, helps train them, and helps people train with their eagles and stuff. He takes up there, and the father sees that he gets one and is like excited. He was like, "Yo, dad, I went to the highest nest." He was like, "Oh, good, son." They're happy for him. It was like, you about to become, what I'm saying, you about to become not a man, but a real ape, coming of age type, what I'm saying, coming of age type thing. But on their way back from getting their eggs, they like noticed that somebody stole a blanket off their horse they're riding. And so they're like, "Yo, it's an echo." And the whole time I'm like, "The hell is an echo?" Well, echo is their term they use for humans because they think that humans are extinct or whatever for the most part. And it was like, it's an echo. And they was able to get the blanket, and he shows the blanket to his father. His father like sniffs him and like, "Hold on, you smell funny, boy. You smell like outside, son. What you that's basically what you smell like outside, boy. What's that?" And he was like, "Hey man, a blanket echo." He was like, "An echo? Let me go on up here and take this to the the tribal leaders and stuff." They up there having a powwow about it. And it was like, "Where you see this at? Over by the cave?" They're like, "Boy, did you go to that cave? Did you go in that cave? We took why all movies like this is always a stay away, a boundary, like don't go past this, don't go. And that brings up too, like I said, dealing with the old OG series for the 60s, they had the boundary out there where it was like the apes couldn't go because that's where you saw that the humans will realize that this was Earth, and that was the Statue of Liberty and all that stuff out there.
Yeah.
And so they sent a scouting team out to check to see what's going on. In the meantime, that night, you know, Noah's out there because he's trying to fix something for his mom, and he hears something, and he goes into the little fishing hut where they smoking the fish. I was like, "Man, that fish about to be good as a mug, boy. Got
Uh-huh.
some smoked fish out there, that catfish to die for." Shout out Tommy Davidson. So Lake Barnell, and so he and so he look at it, he hears something, and it's the human, and she's stealing some fish to eat, and she dips, but in the process, she breaks his egg because they got to keep their egg on him. Think back to home ec class, or what I took in my high school was marriage child development. We had the baby egg and take him. She broke it, and he was like, "Man,
Oh
ain't this about
snap.
some?" And he goes to see his friends, and they like, "Hey man, your father's the, what I'm saying, he's the main eagle dude, man. They'll let you go back out and have it." He said, "No, I gotta hide this by tomorrow morning." And he like, "Bump that, yo. I'm going out to go find me another egg." So in the process of him going out to get another egg, he hears a commotion. And what it is, he sees that the scouts that the elders sent out had been attacked and some of them killed. And they're looking like, "Yo, what's going on?" He's looking like, what? He sees one of the guys he know, and he's trying to tell him like, "Hey, yo, run," like whatever. And they come to find out, he hear horses, and you see this giant gorilla and these other apes with like metal face masks and electric prods, and they are proceeding to wreck shop out there to kill these people, and Noah's like, "What the hell is going on here?" And then, but the thing is, when Noah messed up, they found Noah's horse, and they was like, "It's a horse." He probably they was like, well, "We don't know where they at." They was like, "Yeah, the horse will know." So they slapped the horse on the butt. The horse was running back home, and he was trying to catch up, but he got there too late. They burnt the whole village down. They captured the apes. Dude killed. He tried to fight off the gorilla. The gorilla killed his pops in front of him, and made him fall from the top of one of the trees, and he got knocked out. And he wakes up the next morning, has to bury his father, and he promises, "Hey, I'm going to bring folk back." Also, in the meantime, his father had an eagle that hated Noah for whatever reason. Noah don't know why. Noah be like, "Hey," always trying to play with the eagle. The eagle was trying to peck at him and stuff, and the eagle was hovering over his father's dead body. And so when he went to go try to find out where his people were, the hawk was following him, and he felt the hawk was tormenting him. When we kind of find out it ain't. Go ahead, Rashad.
Nah, funny thing too, the ape, your boy, what's that ape's name?
Was Silva?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, that's played by my guy from God, what's Jessica Jones, the crack dude, the crackhead dude from Jessica Jones, the drug
was.
addict.
Yeah, yeah. So no, 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 my bad. Not that one. Proximus just coming
Oh,
up. I got someone when we get to him, I'll talk about him. But
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So he was that ape is like they really came in there and was like, you know what? Okay. So that part when they came to the village, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
burned everything down. When when Whatchamacallit woke up, when Noah woke up,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, because the whole time I was like, how do they build these like towering things?
Yeah.
And then when it was revealed, like, nah, this is just like power lines.
Yeah.
I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh
Mm-hmm.
snap, I
It's
get
just
it.
power lines, and
It
they
just was
just.
like, yeah, just like them like the structures for the tall power lines to go
Mm-hmm.
across, like through like a forest or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, they really just was out here with the infrastructure just building up what was already there and not having no understanding about why this stuff is there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what's getting me too. I felt like, because these people were falconers, what I'm saying, where they was using because the eagles that they trained, whatever, they bonded with these eagles, and these eagles would bring fish back and stuff to them, whatever. I felt like this was 300 years in the past. I felt like this was like the Bronze Age for them. They were entering the Bronze Age for the apes, what I'm saying, the ape society, because they started having weapons like the bolo whips, and stuff
Smart.
like that. So that's why I was feeling with especially the Eagle Clan.
Yeah, that's a really good take because
Mm-hmm.
like even when it comes to them trying to figure out stuff, like everything it was still primitive,
Mm-hmm.
but it was still like it wasn't as like like as olden of sorts. Like
Yeah.
like you know how to make fire and all that stuff. So like they
Mm-hmm.
was definitely like ahead of the curve. Like after that, when the movie really starts,
Yeah.
like when Noah really starts to go on his actual
Cause
hero's
that
journey,
right there was like about a good hour, wasn't it?
it's like
Like
a
all the
45 minutes into
yeah.
the movie
Mm-hmm.
until that happened. I mean, okay, I'll say like 35. Like I don't know, but like
Okay.
it felt a long like it was a long time. So
Mm-hmm.
it's thinking about it, you have this setup of his clan, what they do, who they are,
Mm-hmm.
and then boom, all of them either die or they get taken away.
Mm-hmm.
So as he starts to go through, he says, "Look, man." He gets to our favorite part of the hero's journey, the point of no return, goes through the tunnel, the train tunnel,
Mm-hmm.
and then he sees like the other part where it's the quote unquote, the underworld,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Man, this looks a lot like where I'm from, but also very different."
Mm-hmm.
Because he's seeing all types of different things. He's basically, I guess, it was supposed to be Dodger Stadium,
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah.
uh downtown LA,
Mm-hmm.
he sees it's just a lot of different things and ends
Yeah.
up all low key almost getting trapped. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody booby trapped the place, but it was actually like friendly.
And
And
that and I believe that was like LAX, if I'm not mistaken.
could have been because it was all
Yeah.
underground and stuff. I'm not sure. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but because everything is so overgrown.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I think that aspect of it to me is like the most the part that I like most about these type of movies. Like anytime there's like a post-apocalyptic thing
Mm-hmm.
and they envision the world of how the world would be without human interference, it's always interesting to just see how much we restrict nature.
You
But
see how pristine everything. I mean, the foliage, even the air and stuff looked or whatever. It was
yeah,
like,
that
yeah,
dude just yeah, we be messing stuff up. But
trash.
most of the time. But yeah, so he ends up gets trapped, boom, meets what is this orangutan's
Raka,
name? Meets
Raka.
Raka. So
Mm-hmm.
Raka is again in the hero's journey, is our sage. He is the wise person who's gonna help our hero along the way and teach him things about the underworld. And that's what he does. And he gives us a real again, these people they were explaining everything. And essentially, Raka tells us, like, look, you come in like you talking about Caesar, like you don't even know who Caesar was, yo. So like
That that was a problem I had. That my man was like that he was like Caesar. Like Noah was like, yeah, man, this dude was like for Caesar. Who the hell is Caesar? And Raka was like, oh, these are just people that have basically tarnished Caesar's teaching. And he's like, who the hell is Caesar? I'm like, who the hell is Caesar? Caesar's the reason you here, son. Like, how do you like? Because Caesar has gone from being just a leader to the apes to now a godlike figure to like a godlike figure. It's like all hail Caesar type thing. And Raka was a part of what they call it, the Order of they had a religion, the Order of Caesar, dude, which
Tony, I
they
mean, that's
yeah,
what it was. I mean, if you want to
yeah,
make a parallel, he
yeah,
was he was essentially like let's look at it like this. He is more of the Jewish contingency, the Hebrews of sorts.
Moses.
To make it real black, the Hebrew Israelites
Yeah.
of the whole
Read
thing.
my bro. Let me stop.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Do you know? I'm sorry. So, but then you have like Proximus Caesar,
Uh-huh.
who is more of like the religious zealot type
Yeah.
group. So he would be let's say he like a Sadducee or Pharisee, and
Okay.
he's trying to collect all the people under this one banner under
Mm-hmm.
false pretense.
Mm-hmm.
And I did like that whole aspect of it because it also shows how like if you're not in tune to what the original text of any religion is, you'll
Mm-hmm.
fall victim to somebody saying this is what your
Mm-hmm.
religion is when you
Mm-hmm.
you do the research for yourself. Like, nah, this isn't really what it's about. Because even though it was like, all apes together, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It really was, but we still trying to be coexist with humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Caesar was all about. He even said to his death, like, yo, I really want to live with people because people really is really people who people gave us our chance.
Right.
Even though
That's what Rocky even said. Rocky said Caesar's always had an affinity for, you know what I'm saying? He was like, that kind of got lost in translation,
definitely it's been
but
300 years.
he was like, Caesar always had an affinity for the humans. He says, why? I don't know, but you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, these apes now are thinking that they have been at the top of the evolutionary chain for all these years. For all
Because
these years.
there was no all the written history is
Right.
like either A, they can't read, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
or B, they just have no, they're just unaware because of it's been so like things get lost over generations,
Mm-hmm.
which is or things that just get hidden over
Mm-hmm.
generations because it's like, yo, even somewhere in the movie, Noah was like, there's a lot of things that Ayala just didn't tell us. So they could have
Mm-hmm.
easily missed some sort of rite of passage where you become leader and then you are bestowed upon
Right.
the truth of the world. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, kind of like how the the not to prophesize, but the believe book of secrets that the president of the United States has. That has
true.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Like there's that whole like, secret society
Mm-hmm.
aspect, or if you want to get again, go the whole religious aspect, like the cabal, you know what I'm saying, aspect of it, of this thing. So there's a lot of again, there was a lot of things in this movie that they could have
Yeah.
really explored, but they
Mm-hmm.
said, you know what? Take it all.
Yeah.
And that was kind of for me the kind of the missed opportunities for me because some of these things are real, like this whole like religious aspect was
Mhm.
is very interesting to me, and
Yes.
they really just glossed over it. Even the fact that Raka, it's Raka, right,
Hmm.
the orangutan.
Hmm.
You do understand that he was carrying around the sacred Jedi text, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
He had all the original manuscripts, so like of Caesar's teachings and all that. He was like, "Yo, see these books, these things, these words, these
These
symbols
symbols.
have
He said these
meanings."
symbols have meanings. Yeah, that's what
You
he
know what I'm
kept
saying?
saying. Yeah.
So am I right? But could Karaka read?
I don't think he could. He says he's trying to figure out
Yeah, yeah. See, yeah,
what it was or whatever. And it's funny that once again it seems like because we'll get to it.
yeah.
I don't think Raka is dead
Nah,
yet.
not at all. Nah, nah,
And
nah.
then, but it seems that the orangutans are kind of like the keepers, just like Maurice was, or else the educators of this,
Yeah, like
of this society.
yeah, they definitely know because he's like, like my boy died. It was just us two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the orangutans were definitely like the 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 the
Scholars, I guess you want to say, or
yeah, or if
yeah.
we was in the and like again, like a Star Wars reference, they was like the keepers of the wills, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
all right. So they end up walking. So I'm trying to find my people. He said, sure, I might as well come.
Yeah.
So they end up going on horseback, and that daggone that little girl pops up again. And Rocka's like, look, man, obviously she's trying to holler at you. So let's just be
Yeah.
nice. And they be nice to her. They give her some food, you know what I'm saying? They gave her some
Did you notice
clothes.
the name they gave her?
They gave her the name was what it is, I forgot. What did it say?
Nova.
Nova. Yeah.
But you know what that's from, right? That was the same name in War for the Planet of the Apes. The girl that was mute that couldn't talk. That
Yeah.
was the name that Maurice gave. That Maurice gave her because she had the Nova car symbol on her, and that was the name they gave her, which was Nova. And you heard what he said. What Rocka said. He was like, I shall give her the name Nova. He was like, during Caesar's time, they there was a couple of them that were named Nova, and I was like,
Yeah. And then he was like,
great.
man, and we just name all of them Nova.
We
I
just
was
name yeah,
like,
like yeah, we just name all of them Nova off of that, which you know what I'm saying,
yeah.
which is a great callback. And he's like super nice to her. He throws her food, and then he was like, saw her shivering. He was like, yeah, they get cold. Give her your blanket. And he was like, man, this is my mama blanket. She was she was a elder or whatever. And he was like, come on, man, just give her the blanket type thing. He was like, all right, gave it to her or whatnot. And yeah, and so what happened the next morning? They're traveling, and
Yeah,
it
they
is the funniest trash ever. They, my man's like, what the hell is that? It was a zebra. They never seen a zebra before, and that made me say, "Wow, they must." I said, "This is what got me." I said, "So these were probably zebra that broke out of the L.A. Zoo in the first movie, which was what's that? Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and that went into the forest, and they learned to basically adapt." To that area, that ecosystem that they in, and they just started roaming, you know what I'm saying, from that point
yeah,
forward. And
this
it
is
was
what
just
they
a bunch of zebras just roaming wild. And they were just, he said, they're like horses with black and white stripes. Just don't know what it is. And then you see the next wild thing. You see a bunch of humans. And these are like humans. They're basically cave people because they've been devolved from the simian virus. And he was like, it's a herd. I said, he done called humans a damn herd. Oh my God. He said it's a herd. He says, I've never seen a herd in a long time. And you see they sitting there drinking water. And he tells, Nova, hey, like, and then like my man Noah's like, well, those her kind right there. She can go on and go, go on and be with them. And he was like, you gonna say bye? No, I'm good. She be all right. And they like drinking water stuff. The next thing you know, they hear a war horn. And who is it? Oh, Silver, that damn gorilla, and this crew again out there because they looking for her. for whatever they don't even care about these. They catching all the humans, but they looking for her tail. And
Yeah.
so then that's when I said you see a correlation to the OG series, the OG Planet Apes from the 60s, because it's a scene that's kind of like that in the movie where there's like a bunch of humans and stuff, and then the apes are capturing them, and then you see the thing where they get into the high grass area, it's in the high grass where she's hiding from them, and she's like stuck, and she's stuck like Chuck, and she like, oh man, I need to get out of here. I need some help. And what happens, Rashad?
Yeah.
She stands up, Noah! And Noah's kind of turned and looked like, did I hear? Let me help this girl. So then you see the little scene where they're running. She's trying to run from, I'm saying, the Silver the gorilla to get to Noah on his horseback. He gets her and they get away. Then Maurice. My favorite part was Maurice. Rocka, there go, has smacked the other ape in the face with a tree branch because he's like, Caesar teaches us apes don't harm other apes. And he was like, Caesar understands. He slapped him. And you know what that reminded me of? Some black church stuff, Rashad, right there. The Lord
Yeah.
know my the
The
Lord
Lord
know
know
my
my
heart.
heart.
The Lord knows my heart. He knows my heart. And so they get away, and then like my man was like, "Hey, you came back for it," and he like, "Yo, she was talking. She said my name." And Rocker's like,
Oh
"Man,
no, 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 no,
no, no, no, no, no, no, no, no, no, no, no."
no.
He was like, "You hearing things? These these humans know nothing about this or what. They don't know how to speak. Like I said, all this is 300 years, and then that simian virus had de-evolved a lot of humans. You're like, man, these niggas don't know how to talk. What are you talking about?" And so they follow her because she's at a riverbank, and they're like, and she's sitting there, and then she turns around and she's like, "My name is May." Is
Yeah.
but my favorite was the face on Rock, the face Rocker had. Rock was holding him. He was like,
I
"What?"
beg you. What
I
what has
bet
happened here? You
he
know what I'm
says, "What is
saying?
going on here?" She was like, "Look here, I know where he taking. I know where they taking your crew, your clan, and this and that. Because I'm going there. It's like a safe haven or a bunker. She didn't say bunker, but like kind of a safe haven for this and that." And they're looking like, "Wait, what? Like, okay." And so then we get to what would be the next part of a story would this be? Would you call this, Rashad, the bridge scene?
The bridge is like the some part of the test
Mm-hmm.
allies and
Mm-hmm.
enemies basically, like where he has his first kind of first
Mm-hmm.
real challenge, and
Okay.
and that's when he has to cross the bridge to get to of course to get to the other side. I sound so stupid. He has to cross this bridge, right, and it's
Uh-huh.
it's treacherous. And the cool
Mm-hmm.
and the island and this I wish we had more scenes like this in the movie because it
Mm-hmm.
just was a cool scene. So they go to the bridge. Obviously, Silva and the crew is already caught up to them.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking like, man, we can't cross all the way because this river has a ridiculous current in it.
Yo,
Like it was like a mini whirlpool
yo,
it was
I was sitting
crazy.
there like, where are they? What river is this right here,
Yeah,
Jack?
like this is
Because
the LA River. Like, good
right.
God,
It
like so they it's like somebody over time made this like I can't even say rickety. It was a pretty solid bridge.
was.
You know what I'm saying? So they got across the bridge. So as this pans out, we see apes underneath it, climber
Mm-hmm.
underneath. You know what I'm saying? Like very
Stealthy.
clone wars when they
Mm-hmm.
was fighting on the bridge with anyway. So so with Anakin and them. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And at the foot of the bridge, you see Silver on the opposite side. It's like, ah, shit, gotta turn around.
Yeah.
Turn
It's
around.
like,
They were entrapped. So they meet in the middle. A melee ensues. Our little white girl gets thrown off. and Araka being, he's a pacifist, so he tries to save this girl, and
Mm-hmm.
he ends up getting caught in the netting, and he is going over. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
now we have the proverbial loss of the mentor in the hero's journey. Because most of the
Mm-hmm.
time, the mentor never stays; they usually die,
Yeah.
and they end up pulling the white girl back up. What's her name? May. They
May.
end up pulling May back up. I ain't trying to call the white girl the whole time. They end up
Yeah.
pulling May back up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they just trap him. And then, this next scene.
But remember what Raka told them. Raka, because earlier Raka had gave Noah the medallion that was the symbol for
Oh
Caesar
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then he was teaching him Caesar's ways. Because like I said, Noah's like, who the hell is Caesar? I don't know what this is. But before Silver was an asshole and killed another mentor figure to this dude, it cut the net and Raka looked at him and was holding on and was like, apes. He was like, remember, strong together. That's what he was saying. He was saying strong together, and he cut it, and then you see Raka get brisked away. So that's when I said that you can say he's dead because apes, monkeys, or whatever can't swim, or what they can't swim. And he brushed him away, but I don't think he's the current. I think the current just took his ass downstream, and we might see him in the next movie. If not, he's dead. So be it. He
Yeah, yeah. Either way, you know what I'm
he's dead.
saying?
Yeah.
We already know in movies, ain't no body, ain't no death. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And sometimes still ain't no death.
Right.
But yeah, they go to this stronghold for where
On the beachfront
Silver's
property.
clan. Yeah, yeah. They got that good Malibu property. You know what I'm saying? And
That's and that's the other thing that I felt was a call back to the OG series
yeah,
when at the end of the
definitely.
movie. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, the beach, the wreck, the
Mm-hmm.
stuff on the beach. Yeah. So they pull up and Noah's like just amazed. Other than
Mm-hmm.
he already knows like he's a prisoner,
Mm-hmm.
but he's really amazed at just everything, all the primates that are there.
Mm-hmm.
Just all they had like maybe like 10 to 12 just like ships just right on shore, essentially.
They were like military grade ships too,
Definitely
battleships and
military
stuff. Yeah.
ships. And you see the one ship is where they kind of like posted up,
Mm-hmm.
and all of the apes are just working, doing like very menial tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like crazy because he made a little he made a fort and an encampment
Mm-hmm.
and also a labor camp all in one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know
So
what it looked like? It looked like there was already like a because we got them down. They got them in the 757 over there by where Nauticus is. It looked like a tidal wall that was already there. You know what I'm saying? To keep the water,
true,
a tidal
very
wall
true.
to keep
Yeah,
the water out there, and they built along that. The apes
yeah,
built along
yeah.
that to kind of fortify, to help fortify some more or whatnot. So yeah.
Especially seeing how that place would have been an area. It could have easily been like a port because we saw how it is a military installation anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So on the real, I mean, if this was like proximity wise a real thing, they would
Mm-hmm.
be in like San Diego.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah.
where like but
That's what
but
the
they
naval
ain't
base.
walked that. LA to San Diego is far, and they ain't
Yeah,
walked that far.
yeah. It was
So
like 4 hours, five
it's
hours,
it's
something
a
like that.
it's
Yeah.
it's a hike. It ain't no skip, hopping, a jump, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So they go and Noah, they actually like release Noah and they release um
Remember the one it was because they cut her bandits and then Silver dragged her away, and then Noah tried to go and he snatched her back and they cut his bondage, and then the ape cut his bondage, then slapped him in the head and smiled and said, "Welcome home, brother." And I was like, "Welcome home? What the hell is going on here with that?" And then
yeah,
that's when he saw, and Noah's just walking around looking like, "What is going on here?" And that's when he found his clan members and
yeah,
his
yeah. He
mother.
found his mom and his girl, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, and also his homeboy.
Mm-hmm.
And he got to tell him unfortunate news, like, yeah, dad died. And she was like, man, I know, yo. Don't bring it up no more. But
And you
yeah,
see the
but
eagle and their eagles followed them. Their
yeah,
eagles were
the
like up.
Eagles are definitely just
Yeah.
hovering over the ocean. Just I
Yeah.
don't they just was there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
look, which are very loyal animals. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know the Eagles could be so loyal. But yeah, so they're all there and they're just going through this whole like very Kim Jong Un dictatorship type thing, very totalitarian, and Proximus Caesar, yo. Like when I mean standout character in this,
Mm-hmm.
by
Mm-hmm.
far the most personality, the funniest.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I love this character, yo.
You know who played him, right?
I forgot.
Kevin Durant. If you're wondering for sure who that is, he played the Blob in X-Men Origins Wolverine. Remember that guy that
Oh yeah,
he
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
him. He also he also was in the show The Strand. He's one of those guys that you see him and you, oh, I recognize him, but you can't really say what he's been. He's also in one of my favorite movies, Smoking Aces.
Yeah, I remember that movie. Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
remember,
yeah.
yeah, so remember the Trimmer brothers. That he was the giant one. He was the big one. They had the mohawk.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that was
he's in a lot of stuff.
right. Yeah,
Good
he's
God.
yeah. He was in the movie Legion, where he was Archangel Gabriel,
No, I
and
didn't
that
see that one. He had like a big hiatus. I mean, like a from
mm-hmm,
23. He was in Real Station too. Damn.
mm-hmm,
And he did a lot of other like TV stuff too, I heard. But yeah,
mm-hmm,
he's in Swamp Thing. He was in
mm-hmm,
Stargate One. Yeah, so he was in Lost as well. Didn't
mm-hmm.
watch Lost, but yeah, but he's one
Yeah,
of the people that like, yo, we in a bunch of stuff. And like he's
yeah,
like character actor.
yeah.
So the best role
Prox-
of the whole song.
Proxima season was
Proximate season by far my favorite part of the movie. I kind of wish we could have got to him earlier. You know what I'm saying? Just
yes.
so we can kind of build on his ethos because I like the contrast between you got Raka, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm,
saying, and you got Proximus. Like, I wish you could have had a conversation between those two dudes talking about how they figured out what it means to be a follower of Caesar and all that. Just had that come. But
mm-hmm.
anyway, Proximus Caesar, right? The whole time, like he's just having fun. You know what I'm saying?
What a wonderful day!
Like he's really just like the like he.
Hamming it up, Jack.
You
Yo,
know
for
who
real.
he is?
Who is he?
He's the televangelist.
My man is
Proximus Caesar is
Benny Hinn.
yes, man. He is
He is
he is a televangelist, man. He is it's a Copeland, forgot to do his name. Yeah, whoever like
Creflo Dollar.
he's Creflo, you know what I'm saying? He's
Uh-huh.
all them,
Craig
yo.
Flow for dollars.
He is definitely out here hamming it up the
Yeah.
whole time. Like it's almost like it's theater to him
And then he's
because
doing call and response with them and
that's what I'm
everything.
saying.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
trying to get, even though they hate it, he's like, oh man, let's try our best to get this door down again today. You know what I'm saying? They're
Mm-hmm.
trying their best to get down this military grade 5 layers of concrete fortified door with like a bunch of apes.
Was the funniest trash ever. They was sitting there, and then cause they had the explosion. That explosion ain't do nothing but tickle that damn door. And then they was pulling, and then the chains pop. And I just love to see. He was like, maybe tomorrow we can be together.
Maybe we'll be stronger
Maybe we'll be stronger.
tomorrow.
We'll be stronger tomorrow because I like what he took, what how he did because he twisted Caesar's words as an apes together strong, as in, yeah, we're gonna get a whole bunch of apes and tear this daggone thing down, and I'm gonna be the one in charge of it. He took it as kind of like an authoritative
Uh-huh.
dictatorship role to
Yeah.
it, instead of thinking, hey, if we stick together, because it's like, what is it? You know what I'm saying? Five fingers can't do nothing. But when you put them fingers together and they make a fist, it can make a mighty blow. That's what Caesar was really trying to think. This dude was just like, hey man, we're gonna get all the apes we can get to tear this damn door down. He says to get my treasure, not our treasure, but my he said my treasure.
Nah, because he was clearly like he was the cult leader. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Definitely.
With unwilling participants, you know,
Right.
which makes it even funnier. It's like, yeah, like people ain't going to be down with you for real. We just here out of our will.
Yeah.
Also, that Proximus Caesar ape is called a Bili ape,
Mm-hmm.
Bili, and
Proxima Caesar.
no, I'm telling you, and that ape is actually a really really large chimpanzee.
Yeah. You see how
So
big he was compared to the other chimpanzees? The
yeah,
chimpanzees are already they can get to like almost our height basically or
yeah,
whatever like that. But yeah, that thing was
yeah,
daggone huge.
like genotype. They ran the DNA. Is like, nah, this is not really an ape. It's really a really super huge chimpanzee.
Yeah, he's
So and
like
that's what
Super
and it
Saiyan 8. That's what
yeah. So like and it makes sense when you get to the ending. You know what I'm saying? So the funny thing to this, like the next couple of scenes, when
May.
May meets up with your boy, your boy
Trevathan.
Trevathan, like why when I first saw that, I was like, is that Mark Hamill? And the dude behind me was like, so yo, is that Mark Hamill? I was like, yo, I said the same thing, man. But no,
He
it's
did.
no, but it's our homeboy William H Macy.
Mm-hmm.
Very good actor, playing in a bunch of stuff as well. William H Macy, man, he did a really good job of being the person who has accepted his fate.
Mm-hmm.
This man helped them with the little like the taser, like the prods they had.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Look, man, I'm just here. They already got it, man. Like we can't do nothing about this." And
Right.
May is like, "Look, yo, I'm gonna get out of here. And what you don't understand is that I'm gonna take what I need and I'm gonna go give it to the people that need it." And
Yeah.
he was like, "Hey, we got a good thing here."
He said, "Hey, get the old ways out your head. Them days are old. Because the
Ain't
humans, they
coming
still
back.
know that they used to be the apex. And he's like, hey, them days ain't never coming back. Let it go." He says, "Look, man, I was on a journey. My man said he broke both his ankles. I said, and you could tell by how he was walking too. I said, good God." He says, man, I tell him about our history and everything like that because Proximus knows now that humans used to be at the top, because of Trevathan reading to him and everything like that. And also, too, it makes sense why Proximus is being as grandioso as he is, because he says, oh, we're in the part of world history of the Roman Empire. So, with Caesar and Mark, it makes perfect sense why he's like, oh, hello, say why he's such a peacock about it or whatnot. And so Proximus, Noah, May, and Trevathan are having dinner or whatever. And Proximus is sitting on a throne, and the throne you see has the actual Caesar symbol, carved into it. And he's like, oh, this and that, blah, 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 blah. My treasure. And then like Noah's like, hey man, what's wrong with you? Type stuff. Like, yo, Caesar ain't speak that. He was like, whatever. He was like, oh, you listening to her? He was like, man, humans can't be trusted. He said, you really listening to her? He said, what did she tell you? He said, oh, she ain't tell you what the treasure. Oh, she know. I know why she here, and she know. And then Noah looked at her like, hey man, what the hell is he talking about? Because you know what it's like. It's like in one of those movies where they try to make it seem like you got the guy who's a country guy and he's like a hick and he don't really know much. And then the city person comes along and tells him anything. Oh, really? This is what technology is like. It's coming off like that. And she basically lets spills the beans that that base was like where the last vestige of civilization, like basically lived before everything really went to hell. Everything really, really went to hell or whatever, that bunker or whatever like that. And and Proximus knows that she knows a way to get in there or something like that and doesn't say it. So like Noah is defeated, like just like, oh, I can't believe she ain't tell me this and that. She ain't tell me the truth. He said, number one, she lied about acting like she couldn't speak and everything. That's number
Number
one.
one.
Then number two, she's lied about what this place is actually is, or what it is, or what her mission was, or what she was there for. And so later on that night, he meets with her and he's like, look, I'm trying to get my people out of here. We're gonna get out of here. How can we do it? And she tells him, look, whatever's in there I can use. It's a book. Is what she says. I need to get a book that's in there. And she's like, we could do this. And they start, and so he, he has a revelation because he's thinking about his tribe and what to do. And then what happens? His father's eagle comes and lands on him. And it's like that eagle finally accepts him to be the new leader of the eagle clan or whatever. And so he tells Suna, hey, I need some help. We got to do a big climb, and I can't do it without you. And I can't do it without you either, Anaya. Let's go. And Anaya's like, man,
I don't know
I'm
about that.
man, I'm scared. He's like, I ain't coming. And he's like, why? He was like, man, Anaya is scared, which is funny because earlier on they was joking on Anaya being scared, but he was like one of the most fearless ones when they was doing the climbing and stuff. And like Noah kind of understood he's broken. He's been broken and whatnot. And so you see the next thing you know, Anaya finally shows up. He gets, what I'm saying, his balls drop. And he like, man, let me go help my people. And he goes and they help. It's Anaya, Suna, and Noah. They go to the little fortified bridge to keep the water out with May, and they put dynamite and explosives on that thing to blow it up, to drown out. And who comes and catches them? Old Trevathan. Hey man, what y'all doing out here? And she like, look, man, help. You got knowledge, you can do this, blah blah blah. And he's like, would you stop? He was like, you go get us in trouble. He walks away. Let me tell you what May does. May put the wickedest damn rear naked chokehold on him. Let me tell you something. I hope if she's around in the next movie, they explain a little bit more about her. Because number one, she can talk, she can read, she knows how to do electrical stuff. You got to remember, this is 300 years in the past, and humans ain't really got the stuff like that to do it. And this chick is battle tested. She learned some jujitsu somewhere along the line.
Yo, I was no, you know what I thought about Tony when she did that?
Was that?
I said she Ronda Rousey that man.
You know? No, she did. Like she put that man in and he was. And the thing, did you see how the apes were looking? You like no one ever looking like.
Oh snap! She killed that man.
And she killed him. And then they did the most unceremonious thing ever. They just dumped his ass off the side of the fridge into the ocean. Like that is hilarious.
She was like, "Man, help me with the body, yo."
Yeah, help me with the body. Get him out of here. So she says, "I know a secret back way." But the thing is, they got to go. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Boy, they got to climb. And I mean, that hole was like straight up and down. It wasn't
but even how to get there around when they had to go across that cliff.
Yeah.
You see the apes were scared to death, like, oh Jesus, we can't swim. Lord, they were holding on for dear life. And that cliff was just straight parallel, and they had to climb. And then Noah had to climb with her on her back to take her up there.
Yeah, it was a harrowing scene for them. Like it was a nice tense scene. Another thing I appreciate about this movie, even though stuff was at nighttime, we still could see.
Yes,
thank you.
Very.
So they get to the top, of course, and they end up going inside, and so they're going in the levels, and she's like, "No, I got a little bit further," and he's like, "Hey," she ends up oh yeah, end up finding she finds a gun and some other stuff. And she was like, "Hey guys, wait right here."
So, question: you know what that bunker was given?
What's that?
All Out.
It really was.
Because they said that was like the last vestige of civilization before it failed. They had like apartments, rooms in there, and stuff like that. And then you see a classroom where they had books and stuff, and that's what she told them to wait. So they was in there, and they started looking, and Noah feeling like he knows something because he been out, he done learned. He was like showing her the letters. Have symbols, have meanings, and they look in the book, and they're like, okay, oh, what the hell is this? Monkeys and apes in cages, but they taking pictures of what the heck? What the hell is going on? Like, what the hell? Exactly. What the hell? And that's when they realized they used to be the dominant species. What the hell? What the hell happened here? Yeah. And so while all that is going on, May goes into like the control room of this place to get the satellite key card. or
Yeah.
whatever. And she gets it and was like, all right, we can get up out of here now. And they turn and look at her like, the hell is going on? What the hell she got
Like,
going on?
who are you
Are
for real?
you? And so they get to where the main door is of the thing. They was like, we're gonna open this door, give a signal to tell apes get out, and we're gonna blow the daggone bridge. But when they're walking through, you looking, you see tank, 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 aircraft, tank, tank. I said they are in a military
Uh-huh.
installation, and these all these guns, and they had all them other guns back there. They had machine guns and everything. They open up the door that the apes were trying to tear down, and who's sitting there? Old Proximus is like, "Yeah, I knew you was gonna crack this egg for me." And he looking like he said, Y'all done seen my treasure," and he looking around or whatever, like, yeah. He was like, "Oh, she ain't tell you what this is here." He says, "I'm trying to learn the human technology to make sure we stay on top." Now, here's my thing with Proximus. Proximus made a lot of sense for the apes in their
Uh-huh.
calls. It's just how he went about it that was wrong, that was bad. You know what I equate it to? I'm gonna say something that might not be popular for Sean. He passed away a couple of years ago, a year or so ago. Kevin Samuels.
Okay, I can see that.
Kevin Samuels made made some good points of some of the things he said, but how he went about making those points was bad, was frowned upon. Does that make sense to you, Rashawn?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. It's a clear case of sometimes the message gets muddled
messenger?
in the delivery of it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can be saying the
Right,
right thing, but in the wrong way, ain't nobody gonna hear you.
right. They just gonna hear the negative part about it. So yeah. So he's sitting there looking, and then like one of Proximus Apes grabs like my man's girl and was like Sooner, and has a blade to her throat, was like, yeah, uh-huh, tell us what's in here, rest of a killer or whatever. And May's like, yo man, F this, and she pulls out the gun. These apes don't know what the hell this is she's pointing. They looking like, what is this? And she pops a cap in that ape like, okay, ow, ow, and passes out. And this is what scares the hell out of me. Proximus looks and goes,
Oh,
"Are there more? Are there more of that?" Because he wants that to start popping off there. And she said, "Oh, hell no!" And she was like, "I gotta make sure he don't get a hold of none of this." And Noah's like, "May, no, please don't." And she's like, "Nah, f this. You don't understand." Because it was the look, Rashad, that Proximus had on his face, man. Did you see that look he had, man?
yeah. Of he had the face of like yes, this is what Charade has been talking about the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I can
And,
have real power.
and she basically says, "Screw this," and she goes and she blows the dam, and the water rushes in.
Tony,
Mm-hmm.
Tony. So after the movie was over, right? Madison said, "I feel like that son of the movie was racist." I was like, "Why?" And she said, "You know why?" He said, "Remember when when the girl blew up the dam?" I was like, "Yeah." She said, "You know monkeys can't swim." She said it felt a little racist. Oh man, but nah, yo, Nick was not living, yo. And that part right there was crazy because it just showed you the true nature of man and how man is going to try its best to survive.
Stay on top.
Yes, and like and that's what I mean. Another like theme of the movie is like the feats that man go to for just for survival, and
Mm-hmm.
May ends up, you know, she
Letting
she
out.
she lets out
Mm-hmm.
all the water. A bunch of monkeys drown, and then now we get a call.
Eagle Clan didn't.
Eagle Clan already knew what to do.
Come on!
Yo, killing the climb too. And then we see why I had to talk about how Proxima is just a big chimp. because he was climbing too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like him and like a couple of his like couple of the other ones that were like him, they was all climbing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really dope. Like I like that scene too. Like it wasn't. It reminded me of what's a decent? Oh, almost kind of like when in Avengers when the Hulk was riding through the bottom of the ship when he was chasing Black Widow. Like it reminded
Uh-huh.
me of that, but add
It
some
did.
water. And that scene was really good, like between Caesar and then and Proximus, because going back and forth, and like they had a fight and all that good stuff. He thought he
Yeah.
drowned the man, but he really
Did you see
didn't.
how cold Noah was though? He sat there and watched that ape Silver who killed his pops and his meant to just drown. He was just like
Just looked
they
at him.
and looked at him and watched him die.
Watch that hand slowly
That
fade to
hand.
black. Yo, man, like, and then it got to the top, and everybody's at like the place where they basically started,
Mm-hmm.
and out of nowhere, good old Proximus shows up and proceeds to beat the brakes off of your man Noah. I mean, he was beating this man so bad, and then
I'm gonna tell you what pissed me off though about that
was
ass whooping he was giving him. He was giving him that major ass whooping, but you had all those eagles. Ain't
and
nobody
and
jumping.
and, and I think that goes to maybe like the whole like apex hierarchy thing. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe that was my reason. Either that
Mm-hmm.
or they just really want somebody to catch a fair one, which I would not understand at all.
Yeah.
But unless that's that whole like apex predator thing comes into place and everybody's gonna fall in line
Mm-hmm.
with because even that like they should have been other than having a cattle prize, they should have been out of slavery. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But neither here nor there.
Uh-huh.
So we get a good callback of like everybody's is chanting. Like it was funny because Proximus is like, man, what you singing about for, yo?
Uh, 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 uh.
And everybody step in. It's like a whole chorus of grunts and melodic notes. And then the
Uh-huh.
Eagles come and they proceed to peck your
It's
boy
scratch the hell
Proximus
out.
until the point where Noah's eagle delivers the finishing blow and they knock that man off the side of a cliff into the water, presumably him dying. Again, we ain't
Mm-hmm.
see no body. He may not really be dead. You don't know. He
Mm-hmm.
should be dead,
Mm-hmm.
but he may not be
Should
dead.
be dead.
You know what I'm saying? So
Falling from that height into some water
he's a
ain't soft, Jack.
nah. Hitting concrete is what they say. So
Uh-huh.
that's pretty much how that wraps up the eight so far. They end
Mm-hmm.
up going back home. They rebuilding. They got new eagles, new eggs, the whole thing. So their society is coming back up. All of
And
a
thriving.
sudden, they're thriving. We see your
Mm-hmm.
girl, and this is probably the most confusing scene for me. You know what I'm saying? Like we see your girl, she pulls up like, "Yo, I just want to say bye, whatever," and like,
You knew what she was gonna do though, right?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't even understand what the point of the scene was. Had the blicky behind her. It was
Yeah.
like and he was like on some real pacifist type stuff that Rocker told him,
Mm-hmm.
gave her the Rockefeller chain and was like, I want you to wear this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But she did. She told him. He was like, "Yo, we ain't gonna." He says, "No, y'all trying to put us back in cages." And she was like, "No, the order of things where we were on top and y'all took." And he was like, "Well, look, yo, like, well, we at top." And he said, "Why can't we?" So he started talking that Caesar stuff. Why can't we? He says, "You know what?" He says, "Proximus was right. I don't think we could coexist." It became one of those things.
yeah, so now you
And
have this like almost this crisis of conscience where you have this like these dueling ideas again, the idealism
mm-hmm.
of us can we all just get along? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And she's like, nah, N word, we cannot get along. Like, I'm letting you know right now, we're gonna be back and we gonna really burn all this down. So
yeah,
she ends up leaving, and then we see them have these diverging paths of her going essentially like she must have went really far because
yeah,
it ends up being like flatland.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And then he ends up showing her again, call back from the beginning of the movie when he went to the atrium or whatever.
yeah. Uh huh.
Um,
takes
and,
sooner.
and telescope and see the world or whatever. And did the same thing with the little girl and all that
Mm-hmm.
good stuff. We missed that. Not a major detail. But anyway, she ends up going to this base or whatever. And we see people in it's like regular humans in there talking,
Mm-hmm.
walking, and doing their regular thing. We see a person come out,
And the
hazmat
hazmat,
suit.
you see, they ain't let her ass in there either, don't you?
Nah, I was like, here
Because
you
they're
go,
like,
fam. Thank
yeah,
you.
she said, thank you. Go ahead on. You probably got that monkey. You got that monkey or whatever that.
Didn't give her anything in return.
Mm-mm.
Like she didn't get like no money, no food.
Food,
You know what I'm
no
saying? Like
water.
no nothing. It was like, all right, little girl, thanks for helping the humans out with your diseased ass.
And where
And
they are is a bunch of satellites.
a bunch of old, beat up, rusted satellites, and they get the satcom key
Mm-hmm.
and put it in, and they're like, hey, is anybody out there? It's like, yeah, we are, and it's
We out here in Fort Wayne, baby.
good old Fort Wayne, Indiana, the Hoosier country.
Dude.
So, like, I heard that's a callback to was where like the astronaut was from in the
Yeah,
original.
that's what Charleston Heston's
Yeah.
character in the bridge. He was from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
So
Yeah.
another callback, lot of little cool
Mm-hmm.
parallels to the OG, which
Mm-hmm.
was a great inspiration for the director. And that's kind of how this ends, right?
Yeah, it ends because it ends with Noah and Suna look in the telescope and they're looking to see something. You don't never see what they see, but they look in the telescope.
Yeah, seeing the
Because
sky.
earlier remember earlier he asked them what it Raka said, what do you see in there? And he said, and he was like, I saw a light. He says, I saw darkness eating light. I said, he see a black hole? That's the first thing I said was, did he see a black hole or something like that? But where I think this part of the series is going, Rashad, I think this trilogy right here is going to lead up to the point of what happened where we get to the OG 60s series.
Oh yeah.
I think the next thing is going to be the humans trying to get into space and trying to leave some of them leaving this planet and going somewhere else. Because remember in the OG series, the humans was like traveling this, but it's maybe they're gonna find a new Earth or something. I think it's gonna lead to what monkeys gonna be. That's horrible. Apes are going to be in space or something, or we're going to get to the next level of the technological revolution of the of the apes.
So what you're saying is that we may get another time jump.
Yes.
That would be interesting. Ballsy move.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, because on the real, like this story is really over.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to have another one of these. There could be no sequel, and it just be like, oh,
Yeah.
this was a good, cool movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, of course, it's going to be a trilogy. But yeah, I'm very interested in seeing how what they're going to do with the next one, though.
I'll ask you this: were you a little disappointed that they didn't have any apes that were part of the Caesar bloodline?
Not really like that. Like I think making Caesar still like the overarching theme
Mm-hmm.
of the whole thing, or overarching like reasons why he
Okay.
definitely was like permeated throughout this. Like his name was always brought up. Even the fact that Proximus made his last name Caesar
Mm-hmm.
was, I feel like it was good enough for me. Like I didn't like I was kind of glad that because I hate when they again Star Wars, like when they try to build on old stuff and they don't really want to do the new thing, they still want to be beholden to the past. So
Right.
this was a really good compromise to me.
I also yeah, I can appreciate that. It's funny too because, like I said, dealing with the whole religious aspect of this or whatever, how they look at Caesar as a godlike figure. This that kind of plays into the that the original reboot of the Planet of the Apes with Mark Wahlberg when they used to pray to it was a monkey, it was an ape named Simos, if I'm not mistaken, what a Simos, where they was praying to Simos, and kind of find out Simos was the monkey that the ape that Mark Wahlberg and them had sent into space,
Oh,
sort of why
okay.
that
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
dilated
yeah.
into that time zone or whatever like that. And yeah, so I'm interested. I'm interested to see one thing. I'm interested to see how you still had a sect of humans who were able to survive 300 years without catching that monkey, you know what I'm saying, the monkey virus, and still, keep their version of civilization going as far and know how to read and do, you know what I'm saying. I was wondering how, what I'm saying, how they got that. I would have loved to see how Proximus, it's like a backstory, how Proximus, or even they talked about how he became into power or whatever. But I really honestly think it may be another time jump, maybe not like a huge one, but a slight time jump to see where we are at this, to get to this point we are at now.
Interesting. I kind of like that take too. Either that or like I would love to see like another part of the globe. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Because
right.
yo, let's actually go to Africa. Like, what are the actual location of the true chimpanzee, ape, monkey, that whole where they really from? Let's see what they doing there and just how advanced their civilization has become.
Because
Because
remember at the end of Rise, you saw that one guy, Rise of the Apes, that one guy that got infected down the airplane, and you saw where it was like going to
it
all the
was spreading
places and how it
everywhere.
was
So you
spreading
got
all
like
over.
like
Yeah.
like 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 India, where all those monkeys just be like running rampant, just stealing people's snacks and hats and phones and stuff. Like, yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
this could be like it. I would really love to like kind of globetrot a little bit just to check on like different how different civilizations look, because this is a very small
Yeah.
portion.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that would
Or
cost a
even
lot.
or even how apes on the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? Because we
So I'm
we mainly
saying
we
there's
mainly
zoos
been focusing
everywhere.
we mainly been focused on the West Coast, North, you know what I'm saying, Pacific Northwest type in this area. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I give this, like I said, I give this movie a solid rating or whatever, but solid rating, decent movie, but my least favorite of the apes, of the rebirth of the apes franchise.
Yeah, I concur. Like it was, this was definitely like it was a decent outing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna, it wasn't anything like super groundbreaking, but
Mm-hmm.
I had fun with it. It was definitely like worth me spending a couple dollars on going to watching the movies.
Cool.
So we got, man. We will see you all on Wednesday for watching this in real time, listening in real time, because the finale of season one of X-Men 97 is upon us. It is. As my little dumb dog barks in the background.
Feel the same way that the show is the season is ending. No,
Hold on. All right. But yeah, so watching that. What else comes out? Oh yeah, new Mad Max comes at the end of
Furiosa.
the Furious comes at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And of course,
June 4th is the Acolyte.
Acolyte.
June 16th is House of Dragon. Some stuff.
Yes.
Also, stuff that we aren't really covering that I'm watching as well. Like I said, Interview with a Vampire started last night. Started off pretty decent. First
Cool.
episode. So we'll see how that, see how that goes. That
Yeah.
I'm watching. And yeah, man, I mean, we
Started
out
this
here.
started watching this anime called Windbreaker.
Okay.
It's a typical like shonen anime.
Okay.
Also The Boys in like July, I think.
Yeah,
So
the boys in
The
July
Boys in
or
July. A lot,
whatever.
a
Oh,
lot of
we're gonna we also are I think we're gonna still do this. Me and Rashad are gonna do a planning, do an episode basically casting where we did our fan cast for
for X-Men.
for X-Men, for MCU X-Men or whatever. I finally finished my list.
Oh man,
Finally
that's
finished
gonna
my
be
list,
a
Rashad. Yeah.
good episode.
It's gonna be a great
Yeah,
episode with
yeah. I
that.
like, because I'm telling you, my list is impeccable.
Yeah.
I can't even lie, yo.
I have a couple of characters. I'm gonna lie that I couldn't pick between the people, so I just have them as one of these people can play this role, and I'll be.
No, that's good. You can cheat. You know what I'm saying? I'm committed to mine.
You know what? After that, you ain't gonna pull me. Like, no, you're right. I'm straight. Whatever. I got mine.
Make a decision, sir.
I'll make a decision on that. Yeah,
Nah, you good.
So yeah, man. Just we glad that y'all out here checking us out. We hope y'all also checked out our something we did, the episode we did that was kind of off brand for what we normally do, the music, the Drake versus Kendrick episode we did. Off that, seems like that beef is over for now.
I
Oh well,
guess, but
I
the
guess
Riddler's out here dropping clues and hints though. Bro, that's wild, yo. I don't even know what to say anymore, man. It's
right.
just crazy. But yeah, definitely check that episode out. That was a good one for us.
Yeah.
We'll try to do more stuff like that. It kind of got a decent response on YouTube. I'll check the podcast stuff later on. But
Yeah.
yeah, we appreciate that. Even if it's just, your first time coming here was that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Stay with us, stay subscribed on the things, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, IG. Until the next time.
See you, folks. Peace.